Hi, Scorpio Sun and Rising. This is Raina, and I wanted to do a video about the transit of Jupiter in Pisces. And I picked your sign first since you're a water sign. And this is going to form what is considered the most harmonious angle, the trine. And I want to give you the dates when Jupiter is going into Pisces because it's not going to be for an extended period of time in 2021. In other words, right now, Jupiter is in Aquarius, and I'm recording this in April. And Jupiter will be going into Pisces on May 13th and will stay there, direct until the summer solstice, winter when you're down under, on June 20th. And, I didn't see how far it went. I think it goes like 2 degrees. It's very, very much at the beginning of the sign. Let me just double check here. Yeah, 2 degrees, and then it retrogrades. And so it retrogrades on June 20th, and it retrogrades until it's continuing retrograding until July 28th, but that's when it goes back into 29 Aquarius. So it's still going to be retrograding after that, but I'm just focusing on when it's in the sign of Pisces. So May 13th until June 20th, retrograding until July 28th, and then re-entering Pisces on December 28th. So what is that, 5 months later? And then in 2022, you're going to have it throughout the year, I'm assuming. So what does this mean for you? Even if it's going to be just like a taste of what is going to be more extensive in 2022. Well, Scorpio, this is wonderful. And, for some of you, it's going to be a really hot summer. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. This is the house, the fifth house, that is love, but it's also, that early stage of love, but it's recreational sex. It is the house of pleasure, if you want to just boil it down to something more universal. So this is a time when you can have a lot of fun because Jupiter expands everything that it touches. And Jupiter is considered in Vedic astrology a benefic planet, which means that its influences are going to be pretty positive. When you have an afflicted Jupiter or retrograding Jupiter, afflicted would be different, but if somebody has a lot of oppositions and or squares to Jupiter, it still isn't considered really bad. It's considered maybe that the person is overindulgent. They take things to excess. So it's not something that we ever look at as a planetary influence and say, oh my gosh, that's just terrible. Now, the thing about the fifth house is that if you're looking for love, this can be a wonderful time for that. It can also be great for artists. So because I did put down certain things. I put down here, this is the house of children. So women, this is an easier time for you to get pregnant. I would assume, if a man is listening, that this might be an easier time to impregnate a woman. I don't know. It's about conceiving children, this house. But it's also about children in general. So if you work with children, you may have more opportunities in that area. If you have children already, your relationship with them can improve. And part of this may simply be because you're much more positive. Your attitude is better, and so you're treating them in a better way. You may just get more social invitations. This is a house of parties and things like that. And that might be something that is really indicated. I don't, condone gambling, but for those people who do, this may be a lucky time. Of course, you do have to look to see if you are, if you have an afflicted Jupiter, to see if it might not work out even with Jupiter here. But yeah, and this is the house. Well, I want to say too, like in terms of dating, this can be dating someone from a different culture, because Jupiter rules the ninth house, and that's about foreign travel. So people with different nationalities. And by the way, I mean, for Scorpio, for instance, because you're a fixed water sign, you may have very rigid ideas about who is your quote unquote type. And that could be the type of, person that you typically date. And, if you have had many disappointments in love, and you meet someone and they are not your type, maybe they're from a different country and you've never met anybody from that country, and you're just kind of stuck in this rut of having preferences for whatever when it comes to relationships, or people that you want to date, because this is not the relationship house. It's dating and falling in love. You may throw caution to the wind and kind of expand your options, and Jupiter is helping you to do that. So even though you may be very narrow in terms of what it is, because usually, like, Scorpio is very particular, not like Virgo, but just like extreme almost about, either they really love a certain thing or they don't. And it can be hard when you face something new to try it out, but you may expand your dating pool, let's put it that way. And you can be more authentic overall, especially if you're a Scorpio with a lot of Libra influence. You may try to keep things very polite and, not very deep, even though you are a very deep person. And also that secretive quality of Scorpio, where you don't really want to reveal who you truly are. And this may have you letting your hair down with someone and being more genuine, because I really don't know why I saw this in two different places. I'm assuming it's because Jupiter rules Sag, and Sag is about honesty and things like that. So that's all I can think of at the moment. Since the fifth house is the house of creativity, this can be a prolific time for you, because Jupiter can expand your output of creative work, and you can profit from your creativity because Jupiter is connected to money, like Venus in these transits through various houses. So that can be really wonderful. And the trine, when we're talking about what the aspect is, the trine is the aspect that requires the least effort. So things can flow to you, it might seem like. But the challenge in all of this, Scorpio, is if you start to get things that just seem to come to you and you don't put much effort into it, you may think that it's not worth your time, because of it's not really a struggle, and you might take it for granted. And so sometimes trines seem like the greatest thing since sliced bread, but they're really deceptive, where they can make people rest on their laurels and not feel a sense of urgency. Jupiter is also, I'm sorry, the fifth house is also a place that can deal with competitive sports. And so if you are somebody who competes, that might be a time when you win a lot of medals, or you just seem to win every time that you compete with something. So that can be like very auspicious for you, and for athletes and people like that. So anyway, Scorpio, I hope that you enjoyed this. If you would like a personal reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.